Chanting, "Go back home," a wall of protesters blocked the road into the Marietta Border Patrol station.
You are obstructing the roadway. Please move or you will be cited.
As anger grew in the crowd,
They need to go back to Mexico.
some not understanding these migrants were all from Central America, tempers flaring, one protester spitting at an immigration rights supporter.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
The buses with many women and children turned around. 140 undocumented migrants left for another station. This bedroom community outside of San Diego wants to know, what now?
The bus turned around, it's going to turn around again. And there's more buses that'll be sent this way.
Do you feel that your city then has become almost like a dumping ground?
Of course, I think anyone who's been pinpointed for these buses to come to is going to feel like it's a dumping ground. You know, why us? Why this small little town?
That's a sentiment across many communities in the Southwest. An influx of undocumented immigrants, many of them children, has crammed facilities in Texas. Not enough beds, bathrooms, or food. Another 60 to 80,000 children without parents expected to cross illegally this year. To cope, the government is putting them on planes and buses to nearby towns, processing them at Border Patrol centers in smaller towns in Texas, Arizona, and California, towns like Marietta. But after this angry face-off with the buses, Immigration and Customs Enforcement says it will keep future plans under wraps due to security concerns. Sharing less isn't going to help, says a union representing Border Patrol agents.
I think they're trying to be secretive of what they're doing, and to me that adds more suspicion.
All the ugliness aside, the question remains, who will take care of the influx of immigrants? The anger continued hours after the buses had left, anger that many in this town do find embarrassing.
I mean, these are kids. I mean, your heart goes out to them.
But he still wants a say in whether his town is where they're sent.
There was no discussion about this at all. It was just put upon us. So, yeah, I think that's unfair, definitely.
You're all fucking illegal. You're all illegal. You're all illegal. We didn't invite none of you here. We're the only Native Americans here. That's right. We're the only Native Americans here. You're all illegal. We didn't invite none of you. Exactly. We didn't invite none of you. Exactly. Get on with your bogus arguments. Get on with your bogus arguments. We're the only legal ones here.
We have Native Americans here.
Yeah. We should have put that sign up when you son of a bitches came. Yeah, that's right. It represents blood. That represents blood spilled by Native Americans protecting this land from the invaders. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You don't want to hear the goddamn truth, do you? Get on, bitch. You don't want to hear the truth. That's what that flag stands for. All the Native Americans you killed to plant your houses here. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Yo, what up, Dallas? It's your boy Phil Cole here. And as you can see, white people are pretty damn pissed off. Pretty pissed off. But as you can see after that, the Native American guy, he was pretty damn pissed off. He kind of served the hell out of them. Now, these were at two different times. Let me throw that in there. The Native American thing, that happened a while ago. The white people screaming at the buses, that was very, very recent. And I put them both in this, I've showed both clips because I want to comment on both basically. Now, how do I feel looking at all these Americans screaming at the bus full of mostly kids being illegal, coming to America and telling them to go home, this is America, blah, 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 blah. How do I feel? I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of that. You know, I feel children shouldn't have to be subjected to that at all. You know, that they're children, like come on. You know, especially they're not even like, what, 13, they're that young? I mean, come on, they shouldn't be welcomed in our country in such a way, regardless of if they're breaking the law or not. They're like 13, I know that's not really an excuse, but I think we need to be more lenient towards children with these kind of things, especially when they're far away from home, they're in a new place. I mean, let's just do it like they do with like parenting, like when what is it called? What am I looking for? It's not birth control. It's fucking child support. That's what we do. Whatever country they come from, that country pays child support for us having their children, where we're generally not supposed to. They pay child support. So if they're coming from Mexico, we found out they're from Mexico, Mexico should pay child support. We found out they're from Brazil, Brazil should pay child support. Whatever. I'm dead ass. We get a system like that so people don't have to complain, oh, our tax money going here. No, their countries are paying child support. We could, why not? I mean, maybe it sounds stupid, but why not? You know, they're coming here, they're illegal, okay, we won't take it out on the child, but that country's going to pay child support, or else they got to learn to close their borders, or we got to learn to close our borders or something. But other than that, pay child support from your country and everything's good. That's how I see it. So they can start complaining about taxes and stuff. And just the whole thing about we're American, you're illegal, go home, all that stuff. Alright. I understand both sides of this very much. The Native American side, we were here first, we didn't invite you. And the American side, we were here first, we didn't invite you. They both have valid points. Both have valid points. One has a valid point to the point where, yeah, you were here first before everyone else. And one has a valid point to the point in which, yeah, this is our land because our forefathers fought for it and it's ours. But in the end, unfortunately, the winner, because this is reality here, people, the winner is the people who took it by force. That's how life works, unfortunately. So although I feel the Native American guy all the way, that's the one who I feel should have more to say than anyone else, but in actuality, it's not him. Because if you can't keep your land by force, they're going to take it by force. That's it. And that's how life works. I'm not saying it to be mean, that's just how fucking life works. Especially in that time before there was some UN. There was no UN. You know, you could just take over whatever the fuck you wanted. And this land was taken over by Europeans. So it's theirs. So it's childish to sit around and say, oh, it's not yours, we were here first. But who's running it? They are. That's how it is. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of minorities have their mindset. We have a very childish mindset. Oh, I was here first. They should do that, this, and that. Life respects power, period. It respects power, intelligence, persistence, experience. These are things you just see throughout evolution and how it goes. Now, I'm not saying we should live like animals. What I'm saying is at that time in which America took over, where Europeans took over the land we now call America, there was no sort of thing like a UN. So we were kind of living more wildly than we are now. But now since it's established by Europeans, you know, and a lot of other people who live here, they set rules and laws. And when you break these rules or laws, they may punish you according to the law you broke. So in the end, the people who actually have the final say are those white people screaming and yelling. Go home, even though I don't like that they're saying it to children. I don't like that. But in the end, according to the laws of the land in which their forefathers took over and owned, they're more right in the end. And you know how else I can prove it? They, or at least white people in general, get their way in the end. Even if it's not those white people, it's white people up top who don't agree with them, but still it's white people up top who say, okay, let's do this, let's do that. They get the last word. They don't care if you're Native American. You lost. They don't care if you came here as a slave. You lost. I'm just being dead ass, people. This is how life works. People want to sit around and complain, oh, we did this, oh, we did that, we should get reparations, oh. Me, how I take it personally is that, look, I like being in America. I like being an American. Now, it's unfortunate that my ancestors have to go through so much bullshit just to be here and shit. You know what I mean? They have to go through a lot of bullshit, but in the end, I like the fact that I'm here. So I'm not going to, don't think I'm going to say something crazy like, oh, it's good slavery happened. I'm going to say, I can at least take the best thing from that. And the best thing I can take from that is I'm an American now. My forefathers fought, slaved, all that shit for what? For us to be free. Because they knew maybe one day they wouldn't be free. But they wanted to also fight for their children, fight for the future. Now I'm here chilling. Well, I'm not in America now. But I appreciate being American, but I'm not in America right now. I'm in Russia. But I'm just saying that's the best thing that came out of it. I'm not saying it's good that there was slavery. I know how people exaggerate in the comments, especially black people, very sensitive. They just, you say something, they think you're saying something else, they'll just comment on it without finishing the video or anything. Like, they're the first people to judge a book by its cover, you know what I mean? And I guess that's really all I have to say. I mean, and of course I feel for the Native Americans, it sucks, but yo, that is life, homie. In the end, if you can't convince the people of power to give you reparations, I'm sure Native Americans got things, got reservations, all this stuff. But in the end, if you can't convince the people of power, you just waste your time screaming, oh, it's our land, it's our land. What is that going to do? It's our land, blah, 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 blah. Like, I see it, thank you. Like, I see it sometimes in Union Square. You have these Native Americans. I don't need eggs. Just this is good. I see them sometimes in Union Square screaming things like, you know, this is our land, you know, you're invaders and all this stuff. We're the real Homeland Security. And when they say that to me, I get offended. I get offended because it's like, I get real. I've only had one conversation like this. He was selling shirts that said Homeland Security, and I had a simple question. And I wasn't trying to be funny. I think I told you guys this before, but I'll tell it again until it was like a year ago. What I said to the guy was, I said, he was a Native American guy, whatever you want to call him. I said, why do you consider yourself Native American? You know, I was very confused. He's like, because we were here first. I'm like, okay. And just when I was about to make my rebuttal to that, some white guy, he's like, they're Native American because they were here first. I'm like, white man, not talking to you. I said it just like that because you just talking to me like an idiot. It's like, white man, not talking to you. Then I went back to the Native American dude and I was like, why do you consider yourself Native American? Because when your people were here, you didn't call this place America. What did you call it? Maybe different tribes knew it as different things, but what did your tribe know it as? He was like, well, most of us knew it as Turtle Island. They call it Turtle Island. I was like, fine, so you're Native Turtle Islanders. Just to me, you calling yourself Native American should be demeaning to your people because you named this motherfucker. If you really feel it's yours, you were here first, why don't you call it by the name your people named it? Why do you call it by the name that the white man gave it? If this is really your land, you were first, what was that first name the land had? That's just what I was saying to him. Then we got into all this. I guess he got offended by that, and he was giving me all this, you know, in the end, this is our land, none of you are invited. I was like, first of all, if you want to get like that, I'm going to tell you like this. My people are here, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. One, there's not enough of you, and two, you have no power. So you go bitch, whine, and complain all day, but in the end, that's going to get you nowhere, because we're in a place called reality. So you can cry about it all day, but what are you going to do? That's how it is in the end. What are you going to do? Like, one thing I respect about Russians, I remember someone telling me this, numerous people telling me this. Russians respect power. They respect power. So like, if you're from a country that doesn't have that much power, they're less likely to respect you. That's just how it is. Russians respect power. Even if they don't like you, they give it more respect just because it's power. You know, they don't respect that whining and crying. Oh my, like for instance, like I told you guys before, like we had a fashion show. Did you leave the oven on? I think you left the oven on. Oh. Anyway, like this black guy, he's I think he's African. He's like a mixed African dude, whatever. He did a talent show. We did a fashion kind of show, and his talent portion of the fashion show, whatever you want to call it, he did a basic speech about how, you know, Africa's being raped, you know, and all this stuff by white people, and he needs to be the king of Africa to change all this stuff. Russian people on the panel did not play that shit. They didn't like it. They're like, it's well, specifically one girl. The other guy was just like, I'm not giving him any points. But the one girl went in. The one blind Russian girl was like, oh, it's propaganda. I'm not going to feel sorry for him. His country, this and this and that. Basically how it was they didn't respect that shit because the country he comes from has no power. So it's like, don't try to put that shit on us. We don't give a fuck. You're here. We're respecting you. Enjoy it. But what's happening out there, we don't give a fuck. Your country doesn't mean that much to us. That's basically how this lady took it. That's not what I was saying. Of course my black ass liked it. Of course my black ass liked it. But I was one of 4 judges, and then the black people yelled at me afterwards. Like I'm all 4 fucking judges. But anyway, I already made a video about that. So that's what I'm saying. They kind of respect power a little more. And what's sad about it is, what I heard from my dude from Zambia, a while ago when a Zambian dude was attacked, the embassy, because I guess they don't have that much money or something, they will take some money from Russia to keep it under wraps so no one says anything. So, if you're willing to let your people die and you take money in exchange, you obviously don't have that much power and they're not going to take you that seriously. They just give you some money and that's it, which is fucked up. but Russians respect power. And that's kind of how I am. That's how it should be in reality, sadly enough. I mean, I like America's approach, how they like to seem as if they treat everybody equally, whether they're rich or poor, but come on, people. We all know America doesn't get involved in shit if we're not getting something out of it. If we're not putting troops on your land, we're not getting money. We don't do shit unless we're getting something out of it. But that's part of how America has one of the strongest militaries in the world. Doing things that way. You know, America's one big-ass fucking business who doesn't really give a shit about anybody unless we're getting something out of it. I really believe that. I don't believe America just this big police who cares about everybody. Bullshit. It's all about profit. I'm trying to learn how to profit over everything I do. I'm trying, nigga. And that's basically it. So in conclusion, all I'm saying is, in the end, unfortunately, the white people are the ones who are right. Because they can back it up with power. That's what I'm saying. They can back it up with power. The Native American dude, he could cry all day. It's not going to change it. He could say, go home. No one's going anywhere. Because if anything, if it came down to it, the white people could get rid of him. You feel me? They get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? This is just reality here. I'm just trying to show you how it is in reality. I know, the thing about reality is it sucks and it hurts, but you just have to learn to acknowledge it sometimes. We can try to make things more fair by saying, okay, Native American people, we did you wrong. Let's give you this. Let's give you that. That makes sense. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that, but what I'm saying is you got to understand reality. You screaming, go home, we're first, blah, 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 means nothing. We're not going anywhere. If you don't have the power, fuck off. And I'm out. Later.